Learning a language is actually very simple. First, you watch a video about it. Then you stare at the screen, choose a language you don't need, complete one lesson, forget about it, and then start looking for videos on how to learn that language in 6 weeks, made by a YouTuber who spent 6 years learning it. But if you really want to learn a language, it's important to have the right motivation. Yes, of course, knowing a difficult language can impress others, bring views on YouTube, followers, and some people even manage to make money from it. But if you're just starting out, it's better to choose a language that will be easy to learn. Otherwise, it will quickly turn into a chore. To increase your chances of success, here's a table of popular languages categorized by difficulty for English speakers. If you're unsure which language to choose, start with Spanish, French, or Portuguese. They're not only the easiest for English speakers, but are also official languages in multiple countries. Coincidence? Maybe. But if you want to take on a difficult language, that's possible too. Just ask yourself, do I really have a strong reason to learn it? For example, wanting to understand anime won't keep you motivated for long. But my friends speak Spanish and I want to understand them is a great motivator, which is why they have a group chat without you. Some people learn a language in school, but that's not the best motivation because at any moment your finger might slip and you'll accidentally paste the entire text into deep L. However, if your reason is the British colonized my country and I need English to survive, that works great, and history proves it's quite effective. Now that you've chosen a language, the easiest part begins, learning it. People often suggest finding a language partner, a tutor, or a patient friend who will explain everything while talking to you like a baby. And that's a fast way to learn, but it requires interacting with people. So here's a method you can use alone. The first step is mastering the basics. It's quite easy, but many people try to skip this part, taking just a couple of Duolingo lessons or endlessly watching videos on how to learn Korean without ever seeing a single Korean word. In reality, all you need to do is find a beginner's textbook with exercises. It'll take about a month to complete, but in that time, you'll learn more than in 2 years of Duolingo or 12 years of school language classes. And these books can be found for free. Just Google Beginner plus your language plus textbook PDF, or borrow one from the library. As they say in France, once you've mastered the textbook, it's time to move on to listening practice. At this stage, you don't need to speak yet. First, you need to get used to the sound of the language. The easiest way is to watch videos in that language. You won't understand everything at first, but using context clues, you'll gradually start catching the meaning. Especially since in any language, only a few thousand words are used regularly. Over time, you'll start recognizing them in every video. Watch anything, as long as it's interesting and you understand at least 30% of it. If it just sounds like noise, the problem isn't you. They're just speaking too fast. But that's easy to fix. Search YouTube for your language plus the word easy, and you'll immediately find suitable videos. Auto-generated subtitles also help because you can pause and look up unfamiliar words. There are sites like Reverso Context, where you can find words and phrases in real examples. But whatever you do, don't turn on English subtitles. I know you already did. For example, many people learn Japanese by watching anime. It's not a bad method, but if you turn on English subtitles, your eyes will just read them. And after 5 years, all you'll have left is an anime profile picture and a Discord Nitro subscription. But since you did everything right and now understand 70% of what you hear, you can move on to the next step, speaking practice. Just keep watching videos, but now pause after important phrases and repeat them out loud, or at least whisper them. Imagine you're having a real conversation and think about situations where you could use that phrase. If the phrase seems useful, write it down. You'll probably never look at your notes again, but at least you'll get some writing practice. And when you feel ready, record a video of yourself speaking in your target language. Just talk about your day, your plans, or even ask imaginary questions to a non-existent conversation partner. If you don't know how to say something, just insert an English word and move on. Later, review the recording, look up unfamiliar words using deep L or reverso context, and memorize them. It might look weird from the outside, but if someone says they learned a language by themselves, this is exactly what they did. And if you keep reading in the language, watching videos, and speaking into the camera, eventually you'll become fluent without ever speaking to a real person. Congratulations. But one day, you'll still have to visit a country where native speakers actually use the language. And at that point, you'll need to study the culture and politics. For example, if you visit France, you might expect beautiful architecture. But in reality, you'll see hundreds of farmers blocking the capital with tractors. If you ask a French person what's happening, they'll say it's just a normal day. For them, protests are a national pastime.